Hello, welcome. All you new viewers and all you subscribers and all you people always listening in. Episode number 3. Farmer James, Vermont Mountainside Beekeeping, starting over. And yeah, here we go. Starting over from scratch. These are the package bees I'm trying to get to survive that mailing fiasco, but they are doing okay. I'm giving them a 50-50 chance because the weather is cool, and that's how it typically is in Vermont. Kind of cool. Hanging out in the backyard. This is the backyard. This is a beautiful peach tree of mine that seems to be doing all right. Getting a nice little flower heads, leaf heads, so I'm psyched to see the peach tree doing good, so that's making me feel good. And these nukes are arranged in the rows that you see them in. And the reason I put them in the nukes is because these Saskatraz bees, if you didn't see that episode, link down below will connect you to it. It explained me starting over, why I'm starting over, why I'm doing what I am. And I'm going to go this year with all Saskatraz. So these are all Saskatraz. And in the very, very back row, where is that finger? Oh yeah, these are my six only survivor stock of winter bees. 3 are overwintered 3-year Vermont mutts, and 3 are carniolan. And the smaller cavities, these are inside here, are the carniolan, and these are the survivors. So anyway, again, welcome folks to Vermont Mountainside. Farmer James right here, giving you a little bit of lowdown. So yeah, starting over folks. I'm going to explain what I'm doing. This year I'm going to be just trying to concentrate my efforts on minimizing instead of trying to overdo and strategizing. I'm not looking to profit. I'm looking to really just do successful bee breeds and make sure I have really success in breeding. I think I was just a little bit, too anxious. I was being anxious. I was being a lot of things. And sometimes that's not the way to be. But anyhow, yep, I'm hearing a logging truck because it's that time of year, folks, in Vermont. I guess the frost is up enough where we could get these logging trucks driving. So that's the noise you hear in the background, but you're tuning in to hear. So these Saskatraz are battered down. They are collecting nectar. They're collecting pollen from these beautiful trees behind me. The poplar, the maples are doing really nice. They're buzzing. And I got maple trees here. So we're getting different pollen right now from these different trees that you see around. And today is 40 degrees. It's windy. It's not nice out here, and the bees are hunkered down like I said. And, I'm going to do the Saskatraz this year. I'm redesigning the yard, setting up the colonies in 5 per row right now in the nukes, which will probably turn out to 5 per row in 8 frame boxes. And that's what I'll do this year, is put them and transfer these colonies as they grow, because again, these are packages that I've placed in to 5 frame nukes because I think they'll grow better in the 5 frames versus a 8 frame versus a 10 frame, even if you have cold. But that's here in Vermont because the temperatures at night are still dropping in the 30s and the 40s now. And yeah, my hands are freezing while I'm holding this phone, so I'm trying to talk and not shiver, but explain to you what I'm doing. And that's why I put them in those 5 frame cavities, because I'm kind of bundled up. I don't have 2 or 3 layers on like some beekeepers in the Great White North of Canada. But here in Vermont, we're getting that cold swing down here. So, I had to really strategize for them and not strategize for me. What does that mean? I'm not trying to get them ready for a flow to get honey. I'm trying to get them strong so that they can survive and with the mice that may or may not be with them, but hopefully manage the mitelose, because I believe these breed of Saskatraz, which I got from Oliver Raz. Alvarez Bee Company, or bred. And in the background there, that's my farm stand. I'm trying to get that going as well. So I have a lot of seedlings going, a lot of different plants going, and at the same time trying to manage these colonies. So this is my new yard this year. So if you've been following me, you've been seeing how large my was, and way over there are leftover bee boxes, on the other side of the shed are another group of bee boxes. So yeah, on the other side of that shed is another group of bee boxes, and over there are bee boxes. So cleaning up after a lot of those dead out. So that's going to be me cleaning up, and also me getting ready for spring. So in that note, again, welcome folks of Vermont, and me, Farmer James, and beekeeping in Vermont mountainside. And I got my boxes ready, got some new plants going, redesigning this whole thing around the pollinators, because that's what I've been trying to do. So I got some new blueberries here. These blueberry plants I decided to put in between these silver boxes here, because oh yeah, so yeah, there's some blueberry plants right there, and my strawberry garden. So anyway, trying to get things ready, trying to get the flowers ready, so everything in my yard is for pollinators. Even got a pea, got some peas. I don't have to pee, but I do have garden peas, which are something, I'm hoping will grow pretty good. So the garden peas, also the garden, in the bee garden. So the bees really aren't flying out a lot. As you can see, things are kind of tidy, but these are going to be my rows. And I'm going to go back here. So all of this side and empty space will be for Saskatraz only. And as they had in one of the episodes, the person who's been managing the Saskatraz with Oliveras has been sure they're breeding in a lot of different traits. And many of those traits I desire, the traits to survive winters. Also, they're mite tolerant. They also are good with tracheal mite virus. They also are good with other things and issues that we may succumb up here in Vermont. And also you may succumb in your neighborhood. But in Vermont, I'm looking for certain traits, and those traits their Saskatraz have. They also are a really good temperament. And as explained by the doctor who's been managing the Saskatraz colonies with Oliveras Bee Company in California, has explained, oh, there's one that flew past me. So yeah, so what they explain are those, that the temperament, they really enjoy the bees stay in a frame, and I must validate the bees do stay in a frame. The bees' temperament is very nice. They really aren't, I haven't used a lot of smoke at all. So when I do my video for my final, I think I'll have a really good time doing a video with these bees because of their temperament. So I think that would help my video for my final exam, which is coming up, which I have over this time period to do, which is going to be between now and August. I also have an oral exam coming up where I'll talk about the advantages of nukes that have overwintered versus packages, which are now coming in Vermont, and they are transitioning to and acclimating to Vermont up and down mountain weather. Again, this is Vermont. This is the weather swing up here in the Great North. And this is what's going on in my backyard on the mountains in Vermont. And this is what I mean, folks, because this is Vermont mountainside beekeeping with Farmer James. So yes, the Saskatraz, they have the traits. I can't wait to see them grow. They have and do have enough food stores. They all have home. I ate all the dead outs that did not have any issues other than small clusters. That mean they didn't see any, defecation from Nosema or anything like that. I gave them the honey. I gave them fresh comb. And also the other day, I gave them a half a patty of Hive Alive and dribbled on some of Dr. Carlson's. And I'll leave a link down below. You can see the list and see that video. It talks about starting all over from the beginning. So that's what I'm explaining, folks, is how I'm starting over again, how I'm setting up my bee yard, having these nice rows 3 feet apart, 3 feet from the fence line. The fence line is 5 lines up because the black bears are aggressive. So I have 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6. There we go, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6. All right. Yeah, again, welcome, folks. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for dropping in, listening in. I appreciate your comments. Some people have commented there is not enough food for the amount of hives I have. And, you know, like I said, I live next to a mountains of 200 acres of deep forest. So there's a lot of bloom, as well as on the other side, we have a really beautiful river. But there's a lot of Japanese knotweed grown by the hundreds of acres along the river. Let me not exaggerate, tens of acres of it very close to these bees. So these bees will have enough food. These nukes will also grow from the different poplar and everything that is blooming up above and around me. So there is plenty of food. I think the management of my bees is where I may have dropped the ball, choosing certain genetics that I was trying to work with based on what I thought would work in my neck of the woods. But I really need to stay and stick with based on the science, based on how people have been breeding over the years and honing in on those certain traits that I do desire. Again, those traits are surviving winters, building up, and also clustering. Well, building up and also really building down to prepare for winter. So I want the bees to know how to manage themselves, and I also want to help manage these bees by doing mite management and, you know, making sure if I do need to treat, I treat when there is less a present of brood and brood production going on. That way I could get a lot of the prophetic mites down, and instead of the mites trying to bury down inside of the sealed cavities. So anyway, again, thanks for tuning in. Farmer James, Vermont Mountainside Beekeeping. Trying to explain what I'm doing and starting over explain. So that's what I'm doing with these. These are packages that are condensed down, and I got 4 frames just to give them space to just expand as well, acclimate to crazy Vermont weather, as well as leave space for about a half. I patioed the hive alive again with the dribble of Dr. Carlson's Complete. These nukes here, they have good stores left over from the winter, so they're packed really well, 5 frames. So these nukes here are doing good. So let me get my hand out of the way. So yeah, these nukes right here are doing good. So yeah, folks, again, welcome to Vermont. Welcome to Vermont, Farmer James, Mountainside Beekeeping. Leave your comments. Let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods. I appreciate all you folks that have been saying hi from where you are in your country or where you are in the U.S. of A. Let me know what's going on with you and your bees and your trials with your bees, what has happened to you with your bees, so I don't feel alone. So thank you, folks, for, you know, subscribing. Thank you, folks, for leaving your kind comments and suggestions. Yeah, please do. I really respect it all. I love it all, because without you and comments, it doesn't really, you know, make me feel better about what I'm doing. But actually, that's not the word. It doesn't, you know, anything left makes me feel like you're listening. So that's what I really cherish. Say you're listening. That means I'm saying something good. I'm not just out here babbling. So eventually you'll see how the yard expands, and before you know it, all of these will be 8 frame deeps, and I'll be running these bees. And then in probably June, July, we'll be doing more inspections, and I'll show you how things are growing in these garden boxes. Also, you'll see the bees growing. So hey, thanks, folks, for tuning in. Farmer James, Vermont Side Beekeeping. Like, subscribe, leave comments, and check the link below. Look for the other video I was talking about, starting over and where it might have been, and I'll show you, you know, from beginning to end what's going on, because you'll see how it was, cleanup I've been making, and things that are looking neat. Farmer James, Vermont Mountainside Beekeeping, folks. Be well.